Now, a lot of people have been talking about apparently a leaked storyboard that had something to do with a big scene for the Mario Brothers movie 2. Yep, the sequel. And obviously now that the sequel is announced for 2026, you know, we're starting to get some things come out of the woodwork from some leakers and stuff. This comes from a Twitter account called Cartoon Updates. And no joke, just about a day, not even a day, just a couple of hours after he posted this image, it seems like it's been taken down. And it looks like Nintendo probably took this thing down because it seems to be, you know, at least some type of major thing for the next movie and something that they don't want to be in the public right now. So, of course, I am not showing this because I could get copyright striked and it could be a very bad time. I also clearly can't link it or anything like that because, yeah, the picture is gone off of Twitter. But thankfully, I saved the picture ahead of time because I knew it had a very good chance of being shown. So I'm just going to describe it to you real quick of what I see and how big this could actually be for the entire movie. Now, it's a black and white drawing, and it's really hard to make out all the little essential details because it's just so sketched. It's just a quick sketch of a scene. But the scene seems to have a whole bunch of like street market tents, a bunch of street market tents lining the roads, the front side and the back side, and there seems to be toads working in the street markets. So it's somewhere within the Mushroom Kingdom, that's for sure. But the toads seem to have like different gear on, like big drapes, big garbs, and they seem, some are like cooking in the little tents. There's some tents with different food supplies and stuff like that, jars. There's even a jar with a cheap inside of it, but just lots of street market tents with vendors selling things, it looks like. And walking in the middle of the tents is Mario and Luigi, but they're not wearing their normal gear. Mario and Luigi both look like they're wearing some type of hooded robes, which is very interesting, and I think that gives us a good idea of what to expect with the area that they're in because they're dressed kind of similar to the Toad that you see on the screen, once again wearing kind of like a hood garb, like long sleeve stuff. Looks like they're protecting their body from something. And of course, this makes sense for a lot of reasons. So of course we have to look at desert places that actually have toads in them. And the first thing I thought about was the Paper Mario games. Dry Outpost just makes the most sense when it comes to this theming because it's lots of like desert towns and there's an oasis and there's lots of sand desert area, just open space, and lots of toads that are themed based on this area. And like I said, there's a town, there's places that you can walk through. There doesn't seem to be any like street markets or vendors or anything like that, but why in the world would it just be a random desert for this movie? I feel like it doesn't really add anything and it doesn't make a lot of sense. You also have Shroom City with the Sniffit Hotel in Paper Mario the Origami King, where there was lots of little shops and stuff that you could walk through with a giant castle or hotel building in the back. But obviously it's not going to be this area because this is just such a random area for a random Paper Mario game. But what other desert location would work the best? Okay, I hear you screaming at me. Of course, let me just move on to it. Sarasaland. Sarasaland is a neighboring kingdom to the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's full of sand and pyramids and new enemies and creatures and even a brand new antagonist. And this actually all comes from the game Super Mario Land all the way back on the original Game Boy. And Mario eventually had to come to this kingdom and actually traverse through it to save Princess Daisy from the clutches of Tatenga. Throughout Mario's whole history, it's a very small part of Mario's history. It's not a huge game, and a lot of people today still don't really find it all that interesting. It's still not on Nintendo Switch Online for some reason. But yeah, maybe it will be after this movie. This is Sarasaland, and this very well could be where the next movie takes place. Now, we did hear from Miyamoto and the team at Illumination that they wanted to expand the world of Mario with this next movie, which probably means we're getting out of the Mushroom Kingdom, and what would be a good place to go for the next movie? Well, let's go over to the Sand Kingdom, one of the earlier Mario games from Super Mario Land. Of course, when you want to expand on a movie, it's not just about bringing in new worlds, but also new characters that can further the plot as well. And that's something that looks like Nintendo wants to do, is have a better story and a better plot. So yeah, when you have Sarasaland, it's very clear, very evident that you could very well have a princess of a kingdom there as well, being Princess Daisy. Whether she needs saving, whether she's just a character that pops up in the beginning of the movie and they have to go there to meet with her, or they just need her help with her army, it's hard to say. But I think introducing Daisy as a core character for the next movie just makes a lot of sense, and showing the land of Sarasaland could maybe even incorporate that into some of the games. It's so weird how there's a whole kingdom where Daisy's from. You don't see it in any video game besides Super Mario Land 1, and that's it, which is pretty strange. I would love to see more of this area and this kingdom, and we've seen something very close to that with Toast Arena, the Sand Kingdom from Super Mario Odyssey, which is also still very weird that we have this whole Sand Kingdom that's just completely different than Sarasaland. So where's Sarasaland at? Maybe it's part of the Sand Kingdom, just in another region, just not in Tostarena. It's, once again, hard to say because we don't know anything else about that. Tostarena was in fact part of the Mario movie. It was just one of the small areas that we saw them walk through. They walked through like a Yoshi's Island style of area, even one based off of Bob-omb Battlefield, and then here's one that's based off of Tostarena from Super Mario Odyssey, even with the upside down floating pyramids. So yeah, for them to add that makes me wonder if maybe this is the area that they're going to kind of call Sarasaland, and maybe they're going to tell us like some deep lore, like, you know, Tostarena is just one small capital of the entire Sand Kingdom, that the Sand Kingdom also has the capital of Sarasaland. So maybe we'll go back here. We also have a map to go off of that the Elder Toads were looking at, and it shows some of the locations from the movie. We see the Mushroom Kingdom, obviously, and we see some other kingdoms that had been burnt by Bowser. Now, I'm not sure, but I believe the top left one is where Bowser comes from, and the one at the top right seems to be the Snow Kingdom. You can see a little bit of blue that's kind of moving into that black and fiery inferno, which is where the penguins were at the very beginning of the movie. It's like the snow ice area. We see the Kong Kingdom, where Donkey Kong and everybody resides at. We see one that looks like it's more made out of felt or yarn, very similar to Yoshi's Woolly World and Crafted World. This is definitely the Yoshi's Island. You can see maybe even like an egg on top of one of the mountains, and yes, it gives that Yoshi vibe. So we'll probably see this area a little bit more as well. And then finally, a desert, which just could be Sarasaland, but just doesn't look like it. It doesn't have that red sand tint. The pyramids and the hills and the cliff sides look a lot different. So this very well could be Sarasaland that they just didn't show us in the first movie that we'll eventually be going to in the second movie. And it looks like it is a neighboring kingdom right beside the Mushroom Kingdom, so maybe Peach has to go there for some reason and see Princess Daisy. I really don't think they're going to make an antagonist of the entire second movie be somebody like Tatanga. I think it's still going to be Bowser, and maybe Bowser, you know, uses the help of Tatanga in order to take over the Sand Kingdom or something. Or like I said, maybe it's not even really based in the Sand Kingdom. Peach just needs to have Mario and Luigi go there to talk to Princess Daisy in order to help get her army as well. They have the Kong army and then Daisy's army in order to take out some bigger threat from Bowser, maybe like the Koopalings or Bowser Jr. or something. And maybe you can have them going in cave tomb areas and fighting like Totemesu, the giant sphinx, and maybe even fighting Tatanga. But yes, the storyboard picture that we see does at least depict some type of desert, some type of street market with tents, and some toads and Mario and Luigi in garb as well. So we could very well be visiting Sarasaland for the second movie and getting Princess Daisy. I would love like Peach and Daisy to have this like maybe rivalry where they don't like each other because they grew up with each other or something and they're just like enemies, but then they become best friends. Something along those lines I could definitely see Nintendo doing in Illumination, but hopefully whatever it is just a better story and some more in-depth characterization. But whatever it is, Nintendo definitely didn't want that information out. But let me know down below how excited you are for the next Mario movie, and do you think a Sarasaland location would be cool for the next movie to introduce Daisy? Would you like it? Would you not like it? And what else would you like to see the second movie do? Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.